Christian Seeger sponsored my father to come to this country in 1923. In those days, you needed a sponsor, and the person that sponsored you had to be responsible for you. You could not become a burden to the state. So Christian Seeger sponsored a lot of Germans. Okay, he sponsored.
And was he living then at 1120?
Yes, yes. It's only, as far as I know, that's all I know. He lived there for many years. And he was married before he met Mrs. Seeger, Mina. But his wife died, and the child died in childbirth. And I'm not sure when he married Wilhelmina. Ishstreicher was her name. But I remember the 25th anniversary. It was still small.
So you were telling me that they, during Prohibition, made beer and spirits? What did they make in the basement?
Seegers made only cider and beer, not wine, in that basement, that big 50-gallon barrel down there where he made cider. And I remember my brother and I were allowed to cap them. Okay, you could buy all the ingredients back in Prohibition, as I understand it, to make beer. You could buy the malt, you could buy the everything to make beer, and it was good beer. So I guess. I have pictures here of the party. The German community, 1120 West Liberty, was where they always got together. The Seegers always had open house. Mr. Seeger worked as a stonemason. Mrs. Seeger, she cleaned houses for the east side. Once in a while, she'd take me with her. She had an old car. The original car she had was a Model T. I remember driving in that, and then she got a Model A after that. But she cleaned for professors and doctors on the east side of Ann Arbor. That was what she did, as long as I can remember.
So your father was sponsored by Christian Seeger in the 20s.
In 1923, he came over.
And then, where did you live then? When your dad came, where did he live?
Well, my father came in 23, and Mother was going to come as soon as he got a job. She had a job, but then the quota was full, so my mother had to wait 15 months before she could come. And my brother was born in Germany, and she came in 25. And my father had rented a house at 318 West Liberty Street, which was owned by a family named Arnold, who owned a jewelry store on Main Street.
And that's now the car wash. 318 was the car wash?
That's where the house was, 318, and there were two houses there. One, and they were both torn down. I was born in that house in 1926. My father worked first for a bakery. Ted Heisel, did you ever hear of Ted Heisel? He was a radio talk show host in Ann Arbor. My father worked for him, and then he worked for the University of Michigan as a pastry chef. My father was a baker by trade. And then in 1928, they had a chance to buy a restaurant in Washington Street. We bought that. And then the rest is history. We're still here. 80 years now.
Yes.
But
so you were saying a little bit ago that Liberty was a desirable street address for Germans.
They called it the Freiheitsstraße, the Freedom Street. Okay, the Germans came out. Things were bad in Germany in the 20s. Heard about that inflation. My father's parents had a bakery, and the loaf of bread back in those days was $1 million marks. Yeah, which was worth nothing. But that's when 1880s and 1920s, when a lot of people from Europe came to America.
And so what was the time period when you were spending a lot of time at 1120? When
my parents started the restaurant in 28, they worked 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. We lived upstairs in the restaurant. The third floor we rented, my parents rented out for quarters. And my brother and I, they didn't have much time for us. So the Seegers were our more or less second parents, godparents, whatever you want to call them. In Germany, if children call older people uncle, okay? And you don't call them Uncle Christian, you call them Uncle Seeger, Uncle Sager. And I never spoke a word of English with the Seegers. He was like a father to me. He would put me on his lap. Maybe that window in the dining room there on the side, like a big window. He had a rocking chair, and he always had a corncob pipe. Always. And he would let me light that for him, things like that. So it was just a great experience.
As far as you remember, how long did they continue to live in that house, the Seegers?
Uncle Sager died when I was home on leave in March of 45. I came home, March of 46, when we came home. I got a 30-day leave from the Navy, and he died while I was home. So he died in March. And then Mrs. Seeger lived there by herself until at least 10 years, I guess. And then she went to live with her sister over in Ardmore. Mrs. Seeger's sister, she had two sisters in Wisconsin, and nieces and nephews. The man that lived next door in that little house, right next door, was her nephew, and he was a contractor. He built custom-built houses. But the garage that's there now, the big garage at 1120, and the garage next door towards town, they weren't there. The Seegers had a nice, beautiful stone garage, and there was no garage next door. So that big in-between, they had a garden, and back in the garden they had a big chicken coop. They raised chickens. Always had chickens there.
So somebody tore down their stone garage.
Yes, the people before who's ever there now. I don't know their name.
Yeah.
There might be a little bit of maybe you can see a little bit of the garage in some of these pictures here. They weren't just it wasn't stone, but they were cast concrete, but not like they have now. They had a little shape to them, a little character to them.
Like stonemasons would make their garage.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But in between the two houses, the Seegers owned the house next door. Mrs. Seeger had her garden.
So these photographs are all.
I'm not sure if that's 1120 or not. I have my doubts if that's 1120.
But these are several families coming together during Prohibition
Yes.
in their drinking,
Yep.
and they may have been doing that at 1120.
I know they did 1120, but maybe not these pictures that I have.
Mhm.
I know they did 1120 because I was there once in a while. And these are pictures. These are pictures from the 1120. This is Mrs. Seeger. That's me. That's Mr. Seeger. I have to look at him under a light. That's my grandfather, was here in the early 30s from Germany, my mother's father. And then that's my mother, and that's me there. I don't know how old I am there. I can't.
And you're standing just to the right of the porch, aren't you, Ron?
Yes. And that's Mrs. Seeger's car in the driveway.
Mm-hmm. And I see the other house back behind that the Seegers also own.
Yes. There's nothing in between.
Mm-hmm. That was a garden.
It was a garden, but the house next to that little house too, there's a big garage there now. That wasn't there either, okay? There were no garages. The driveway was always there. There was never, the garages that you see now so close to the street, they weren't there.
Well, you were telling me that in the 20s and even in the 30s, ice was still being delivered to homes via horse-drawn cart.
Ice and milk. And the horses knew which house to stop at. I mean, there were half a dozen dairies in Ann Arbor in those days. The Ann Arbor Dairy, which was on the corner of Miller and Ann Street down there, which is now office building, that's where they kept their horses. Until there was a bad fire one day and all the horses died. So they didn't deliver. But we used to follow them, and the milkmen and the icemen, they would let us hitch on, you know.
This was in the 1930s.
This is the 30s. The ice company was down on Hearn Street, just below the viaduct there. That's where, and Mrs. Seeger sometimes, if she didn't get it delivered, she'd go down there and get her own ice.
And the ice was, where did the ice come from?
They made it down there, Artificial Ice Company.
So they weren't cutting it out of the river or anything like that?
No, not in Ann Arbor, but they did it with more Lake. The Artificial Ice Company came in boxes, 300 pounds scored, and they'd chop off, you want 25 pounds, you want 50 pounds, they put it on the back bumper of the car, and you brought it home. And everybody had ice pick, ice tongs. The ice box, I still call them ice boxes, was on the back porch of the Seegers. It wasn't in the kitchen, it was on the back porch. Is that still there, that back porch? Back
it is, there
house?
is, yes. But it's not used, I don't think, anymore.
But you can still get in the back door. And they had a cistern back there, too, where they catch the water off the roofs, water the garden. Is that still there, that cistern?
That I don't know.
Yeah.
Were there bathrooms inside back then, or were the bathrooms outside?
Bathrooms were inside, upstairs, and they had a stool in the basement.
So you remember parties in the 30s?
I do.
Say a little bit about the parties.
Well, usually it was for an occasion. Like, I have some pictures here. It must have been around Lent time or something. But birthday parties, anniversary parties, and they would sing. They sang German songs, you know, have a good time.
And they might have how many people there?
15, 20 people.
Different ages? Children?
Well, no children. No, just my brother and me. I think most of these people here were, in these pictures, were not married. I think they were, the men that came over in the 20s, they were all single. They got married over here. I think my parents were the exception. And a lot of the women that came over, most people came over to relatives, but a lot of the women that came over, they worked as domestics in their homes on the east side. Doctors and lawyers and professors up there.
So would it be fair to say that the old west side was more working class and German, and the east side was more intellectual, professors and so on?
They still call it town and gown, I think. But a lot of the residents on the west side were business people. There was a lot of, at least 4 jewelry stores on Main Street back I can remember. Men's clothing, ladies' clothing, Goodyear department store was there. There was a hardware store, there was a heating store, all on Main Street.
And so what were Germans in particular known for?
A lot of them were tradespeople, tool and die. There was a German factory here called Bureau Machine Tool. A lot of the men worked there as tool and die workers.
And they were builders, obviously. They were stonemasons.
Stonemasons, carpenters, painters, you know. Yeah, they all had a trade.
So what else do you remember from that time when you were growing up in that house?
I guess we were children. We played. We had a club. In the evening, in the summertime, we played outdoors. The house on the corner of Eberwhite and Liberty, that new house there in the corner, it's a nice, beautiful home. That was our baseball lot. That's where we played baseball.
And probably there were few cars, if any, on Liberty.
We could play in the street. Yeah.
Was it dirt?
No, it wasn't dirt. No, it was
She lives not far from you.
We just, especially in the summertime, we'd play outdoors until it got dark. And then after school, I went to Perry School, and then I went to Slauson School too. But when I was in elementary school, my parents would take me out there when I came home, and we played until it got dark in the evening. But usually when we came to them in the afternoon, like about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, they had a radio. Dean's radio or something like that. And we would listen to the radio. We'd listen to Orphan Annie.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, it stayed down from St.
In the
It's like,
afternoon, the show called High Speed. I forgot what that was. They were all 15-minute shows between 4 and 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Listen to them. We'd lie on the floor and listen to that. The radio was on stilts, more or less. And we'd get underneath it, listen to it underneath.
Yeah, I think so.
Just memory that I don't know what to say. It was just a great place, West Liberty. Everybody was so nice and friendly. In the evening, everybody sat on their porch. You'd see the porches in those houses. Everybody sat on their porch. They had a swing and chairs. Uncle Sager would smoke his pipe. The ladies would come over and they'd talk. And the men would get out and talk with each other.
Wonderful memories.
Really, really good times. Memories for me and my brother. I went to thank my parents. They did so much for my parents.